All right, folks, welcome in. This is the Digital Jedi with my first movie review here on the YouTube channel, as well as on Facebook. This preview, this review, if you will, is on the movie Midsommar. And this movie comes out on July the 3rd, tomorrow, or if you're watching this today, is when it comes out. And this movie I got to see last week, and let me tell you, it haunted me. I have seen a lot of horror films. I write about horror movies. I review horror films. I live watching lots and lots of horror films. Some good, some bad. It takes a lot. Over the years, it's taken a lot to kind of get to me. I guess it may be that desensitization that happens when you watch something a lot or you're immersed in something. I mean, I've been in the haunt industry now for a little over a decade. Worked for many great haunted houses, and the whole idea behind those was fear and scaring people. And maybe I got a little desensitized walking through haunted houses and knowing what the design is going to be and where the scares are. And then I started watching movies, and it was kind of like after a while, you started getting to the point where you felt pretty much the same thing. You kind of expected there to be a jump scare here or a reveal here that's horrifying. And Hollywood doesn't usually disappoint in that. They usually follow that exact same, what is it? The exact same formula, if you will. So when I went to go see Midsummer last week, or Midsummer, I don't know how to pronounce it. I might be butchering it. If I am, please forgive me. I got a chance to write up an article, and this is from zombiesinmyblog.com, where I am a writer, and this article should be up tomorrow. And the article is Midsommar proves horror works even on vacation. Now, the idea behind Midsommar is that a group of friends. Well, let's go back a little bit further. There's a relationship, guy and a girl. That would be these two right here. That'd be Danny and Christian. Danny and Christian are college kids. They get in a relationship. Danny's a little clingy, too clingy for Christian. So Christian kind of is looking for chances to not be around her, but then something bad happens to Danny and her family, and Christian kind of feels like he needs to be there for her. It's not because he wants to be, it's because he kind of feels a pull to do it, like it's his requirement, his penance, if you will. And during a conversation a few weeks after this event happened, it comes up that Christian and his college friend Josh and Mark and Pele are Pele. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. I can't even remember how it was pronounced in the movie, but Pele sounds good. They decide that they are going to go to Sweden because Pele's from there, and he wants his friends to experience the Midsummer Festival that they have. Now, this is not like the Midsummer Festival that is based in reality, where that one happens every year in Sweden, and it's kind of like Christmas. It's probably up on the same level as Christmas for the citizens of Sweden. But in his village, they have a special midsummer event that they do that only occurs once every 90 years. And he wants his friends to be a part of this. Well, Christian kind of lets it slip in front of Danny. That's what he's going to do. And while Danny isn't calling him out on it, he kind of feels pressured from himself to invite her along. And his friends, for the most part, and they're okay with it, especially Pele. He's cool with it. And since it's his family and his village, I guess he would be the best person to go with. So, vacation time, group heads off. They go to Sweden, catch up or get in a car, drive 4 hours out of the main city that they flew into. So, in other words, the middle of BFE. And that's where Pele's village is. And everything starts out pretty good there. I mean, it has its kind of quirks. Everybody kind of looks like this picture right here that's on the main screen on Zombies in My Blog. This is kind of their tradition. But Pele told them beforehand that, you know, there was some traditions with this and that don't get freaked out about it because, you know, it's going to be a little odd, but they'll be okay. It's no big deal. And everything's fine for the most part. The villagers are really very nice. They are accommodating. If they want to partake in events, they can. If they don't, they aren't forced to. And just like any other horror movie that kind of fits this bad vacation motif, you can imagine things happen. It starts taking a sinister turn. There's some other people here with them. They're from Pele's brother. He's brought a few people with him. And then there's an event in the movie. I'm not going to spoil it. This is kind of a mild spoiler, but not going to give away anything. But there's some things that happen in the course of the movie that kind of takes this into a little bit of a darker turn. But even so, the villagers kind of explain it off as being something of the norm for them. And, you know, you can probably imagine when things start going bad, they go really bad really fast. And that's what Midsommar is. Now, this movie came from Ari Aster. Now, you might have heard of him before. He is the mind behind the movie Hereditary. We have an article about Hereditary up on Zombie Blog, and we're linked off to it in the article. But that was another psychological kind of film, and Ari's really good at these, at writing and directing these kind of films. And while I wasn't a huge fan of Hereditary, I hadn't seen it before I saw Midsommar, and everybody was saying, oh my gosh, you gotta watch Hereditary. So I bought it, I watched it. It was alright, but I didn't see what the hubbub was about. Midsommar, a little bit different story here. It caught on. It caught me. There was so much. Like, the movie was silent for the most part, as far as music, background. The only background you have is kind of like, you know, the sounds of nature or people breathing because they're around each other. Nothing scary or anything about that. It's just off-putting. There were a lot of chanting in these rituals that the villagers did. And that came off kind of eerie in a way. There was lots of little things that happened throughout the film that just kind of felt like needles pricking me. And it was beautifully done work by Ari Aster. And with the way horror is nowadays, and it's kind of a cookie cutter or let's just say it is a cookie cutter thing. When you think about a film like this, I went in thinking, man, this is just going to be a remake of Wicker Man. I was wrong. They very easily could have done that. That would have been the Hollywood thing to do, is just do a Wicker Man sequel or a retelling of Wicker Man. And they didn't. They went kind of sort of the same route, but they diverted off. And that is one of the things Hollywood's missing. They don't divert off. They remake something and they follow it to a T. They may change the gender of somebody or they may change the sexuality of somebody, but in the end, it's the same old thing. And Hollywood has got to stop doing it. And I think people like Ari Aster are the people who will be able to change that in Hollywood. So, what do I give Midsommar? Well, you can probably guess from my thoughts on this. I give Midsommar a perfect 5 out of 5 stars. It's a must-see film. In fact, I would go to the theaters this weekend. It's a long holiday weekend for most of us. Go see this film. If you need a babysitter, find a babysitter. If you need somebody to go with you, get a friend. If you don't want to watch a movie at night, watch it during the day. That's another thing about this film. Everything happens, well, let's say that almost everything happens during the day. You know, there's this whole thing about evil and horror that only happens at night or in the dark. And Midsommar says, nuh-uh. We're going to do this right here in the picture-perfect sky and a picture-perfect scenery with flowers and grass and people dressed all in white and happy and all this. They broke the trope. So, again, this movie is a 5 out of 5. If you want to read the full review, it will be up tomorrow on zombiesinmyblog.com. I'd like to thank them for giving me the opportunity to go see this film. And do yourself a favor. Head out as soon as you can this weekend and catch Midsommar. If you miss it in the theaters, that's all right. Watch it at home, but do yourself a favor and watch this film. So thanks for watching this review of Midsommar, and have a great rest of the day.